Hey, Matt Parker here. Very excited, very grateful to have Chantal Vignola with me today. Chantal, thank you so much for joining me. Almost messed your name up. Thank you.
Well, thanks for asking me to be here. It's a privilege. I'm honored.
Well, I'm grateful. Chantal is a wonderful resource. We're very lucky to have her. She's been in the real estate industry for over 13 years. She's sold over 500 million in real estate. She's sold over 450 homes, and she's been a medallion member for many years now. Again, Chantal, thank you. We're going to jump in more of a fun personal question before we get into the real estate stuff. But what's one thing that not many people would know about you?
Well, I would like to share that I auditioned for Canadian Idol. So back in what would it have been 2005, I went down to Metrotown and had my cute little outfit on and went in and did my audition and sang. It's a long story, but I made it through a couple of rounds, and so that was fun. But I ended up singing The Little Mermaid on point, and it was pretty embarrassing, but it's a fun story to share. Needless to say, I didn't become the next Canadian Idol, but I made it through a few rounds. So yeah.
Yeah, you might be doing better with real estate than you would be with that. So that's okay. That's
Yes, I sing
okay.
at cocktail parties sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah, we might have to end with with the mermaid tune at the end of this.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
thanks for sharing. That's a great story.
Yeah.
So then, what got you into real estate then? How did you get started in the industry?
Both my parents are in commercial real estate. My mom is the VP of sales for Shape. She's doing the amazing Brentwood. So I've grown up in real estate. We lived in Yaletown. We were in one of the first buildings in Yaletown, 1288 Marina Side Crescent in 1998, before anyone had moved into that hood. And I saw the city develop around me. And so it was always very interesting to me. And I kind of just went with it. So growing up in real estate and then being literally raised in the hub of the city brought me in this direction.
Yeah, same with me. Really, growing up around mortgages, it's such an
Yeah.
easy transition in. It's
Yeah.
very common, but it's like ingrained in you in the sense that you learn your whole time, and it's
Yes,
so valuable to have that. Even with things changing all the time, technology, whatever the case is,
for
the
sure.
basics are still the basics, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I do focus on the downtown Vancouver real estate market, in the luxury market as well. I do business on the North Shore, but my main focus is downtown. And just because I know it so well, every building,
Mm.
uh, every crevice, the whole thing, I literally watch it build up around me. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Wonderful. What do you love about serving clients and being in real estate?
The people and the city. We live in one of the most beautiful, amazing cities in the world. Obviously, that's why our real estate prices is where it is. And I just love working with my people. I worked at Earl's for, let's say, 10 years, and their motto is "Great food, great people." And I kind of brought that into my own industry. Great real estate, great people. So, I just love working with my clients. I take it very personally. The relationships that I've built over the years are very, dear relationships. I don't just, one off and then I never speak to that person again. So I do value the relationships that I build with my clients. And yeah, I mean, how fun is it to set up a property tour and go check out properties with people? It's just, it's a fun job. I love what I do. I can't see myself in any other profession, and I would never change industry. So I'm Mrs. Real Estate.
It's interesting, if there's one industry that's harder than, let's say, real estate to get in and be successful, it's probably the restaurant world.
Yeah.
And so learning from any company that has been able to grow within
Yes,
that space, I mean,
for
they're
sure.
obviously very smart people.
Yes, Stan
And
Fuller took me under his wing, and I I learned the steps of sales through Earls, and it took me to where I am today. The basics of their training program definitely worked in this industry for sure.
Yeah. And if you weren't doing this, other than maybe singing, singing on Canadian Idol, is there anything else you'd see yourself doing?
I have recently just gotten more and more into fashion. I'm just loving, dialing up my wardrobe. Probably because I have three boys, and so I'm like really enjoying the fashion world right now. I don't think I'd go into fashion, but it's become a hobby of mine. But maybe broadcast journalism. I think
Hmm.
that could be something that would be up my alley. I've got a fun, outgoing personality, so we've got to put that to use.
Yeah, I can imagine you on one of those things. That's for sure. I think it could fall right into place for you if this real estate thing. Well, it's working out, so let's
Yeah,
maybe
it's
keep
working
with
out.
it.
So I don't have to think about too many other options at this point. But
Yeah,
Chantal Vignola coming to you live at CTV News sounds about
yeah,
right.
yeah. Radio voice, and you can also be on camera, so it's a win-win.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the current market. So we're kind of, I guess we're sort of, I mean, we're within COVID stuff, but I mean, we're getting
Yeah,
through it. As we're recording this, we are the beginning of June, and things are starting to open. Things are starting to move a little bit more normal to whatever normal is today.
right.
Do you have any advice on the current market? I know before we got on here, we were talking about the stats that just came out,
Yeah.
and still that there's a lot of activity in certain pockets and certain price points in general. Do you have any advice for anyone that's thinking of potentially getting into list their property or potentially buy something currently?
Yeah, so if you're planning on listing, you really need to be serious about listing. The only properties that are selling in today's market are properties that are well priced. It's not a market to be testing the waters and seeing how the market's going to respond. What's getting interest is properties that are aggressively priced, like I said. So if you're planning on selling, listen to your realtor, look at the comparables, make an aggressive price choice so that you can get your property sold. Otherwise, just wait, because there's nothing worse than a property sitting on the market overpriced and
Hmm.
buyers are interested in it and no one's coming together. It's just it's hard on both parties, and it's hard on the stats too, because that listing's just sitting there stale. So as for sellers, I would say if you're into sell, let's get it sold and price your property aggressively. And for buyers, I would say, get your ducks in a row. Make sure that your pre-approval's up to date. Mortgage rates are at an incredibly historical low. So,
Hmm.
get and speak to Mr. Parker here and get your ducks in a row and be ready, because the good properties are going quickly. And if they are well priced, they're going multiple. So you really need to make sure that you're ready, know what you want, know what you need, make sure you're working with a good realtor, and just get out there. There's low inventory, and so that creates demand. And so, it's just, what am I trying to
Yeah,
say? You know,
yeah. No, I
low
I say it all
inventory.
the time.
So get ready, be ready when the right property comes up.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
say to be as prepared as possible will make the process more simple.
correct.
And that's exactly why we implemented a mortgage approval guarantee, where it's like, if we've reviewed your documents, we've reviewed your credit, we've done all that kind of stuff, we'll even present that to the sellers and say, hey, we'll back our approval. And if for some reason this deal falls through and it has something to do with us and the financing, we'll help relist and provide a certain like $5,000 to the seller to relist, because we
That's
stand
awesome.
behind that. So I think that what the big challenge is people get pre-approved, but they don't actually understand what that difference of a pre-approval is versus an approval versus
Right,
a underwritten reviewed document approval, that kind of thing. So
right.
yeah, just questions, ask lots of questions, I think,
Hmm.
and make sure that you understand as much as you need
Yes.
to prepare for it. But I think that a lot of our clients, being probably have purchased homes before or whatever the
Hmm.
case is,
Hmm.
things have changed, things continue to change, things continue to get more challenging to get financing. So I think you said it perfectly. Just be prepared.
Right. And I don't think it's a market to be writing unconditional offers. Am I right? I mean, I wouldn't
No.
advise any of my clients to be going ahead and writing an unconditional offer without talking to you first and making sure that that financing is solid and ready for them, because it's very easy for that to go askew in this market. Am I right?
You're exactly right. I mean, there's lenders now that want full document packages right up front before they even
Right.
review a file.
Hmm.
One thing that we do that has been super valuable is we actually do verbal confirmation of employment letters before it goes to a lender. A lot of the times, that's what holds things up. It's
Right.
these little things that can be back and forth. But if we've already confirmed every single thing, or that if your client has made sure that their broker or their bank has confirmed these things,
Hmm.
that's the most important thing, because then that way it should be a very smooth process once we get the offer, and you can have shorter subject removal periods to be more aggressive and et cetera, et cetera. The only thing that we don't know is the state of the property, the appraisal of the
Right. Of
property,
course. Yeah.
anything really to do with the home itself. And that's why inspections and your expertise are so valuable.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was wonderful advice. Thank you, Chantal.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of properties, obviously sold many, many, many homes.
Mhm.
Is there a most memorable property or transaction or situation that stands out to you over that time?
Well, just recently, I had another child. His name is Jax. He's 10 months. And after he was born, about a week after, my husband, who's also a real estate agent, Tyler McDonald, bought a property for a good client of ours, good friend. She bought a home on Prairie in West Van. And we got her a great deal, 6.3, I think it was. Anyway, so she picked up all the furniture inside. The home was just unbelievable. Infinity pool, glass, the whole thing is glass. The high ceilings, just the detail in that home was spectacular. Great view of the ocean. She was so happy, and I was so happy because I had this 10-day-old baby in my arms, and we all went for drinks. Well, a couple weeks after, but it was great because it felt really good. The market was down. She picked up a great property for an excellent price. The home was spectacular. She's a good friend. I did it with my husband. I had just had a baby. It all really felt really good. And those are the deals that we love to do, where the seller was thrilled too. And they actually met for drinks after. So, it was just one of those transactions where people are high-fiving and everyone is on board. And it was really good. So love doing those deals where sellers and buyers are happy, realtors are happy, and everybody's just gung ho.
Everyone can win, I guess, right?
Everyone can win. You got
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to be the winner all the time. That's so funny. That's a
No.
great story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I talk to clients about good debt versus bad debt and readvanceable mortgages and
Yeah.
tax deductible mortgages. Um, and then I use a fun term called house rich, where it's like, hey, let's create good debt, let's create tax deductible mortgage, let's really pay this thing off to
Right.
grow our portfolio, buy investment properties, whatever.
Yes.
When I say house rich to you in our market, because a lot of people look at it, oh, everyone has big mortgages and they're cash strapped, and that, we see it very differently, and we see the finances on our side. What do you think of when you hear the term house rich?
For me, that would mean that you have a lot of equity in your home, which is a good thing if you have money in your bank account to live off
Yes.
of at the same time. And so, I advise my clients, like, let's not make you house poor.
Mm,
I don't want my clients to buy something that they can't afford, and then they can't live life the way they should be, and go on trips and do whatever it is that they want to do. So being house rich to me means that you would have a lot of equity in your home. That's only a good thing if you can still live your life the way you want to live. So not overspend and not overbuy. My grandmother just sold her home, and she'd been living there for 65 years. And so
mm.
she definitely was house rich, no mortgage. But yeah, I think buying a home for most people is about, laying down your roots and creating memories there. So if you're house rich and bank account rich, well, then you're double rich. So then you're just in a good place. Uh, so, but Yeah, no, I always advise my clients, like, listen, let's not push the boundary here. Let's you make sure that you're capable of doing everything else and buying a home that works for you. So yeah.
Yeah, you still want to live life, have fun, do what you love,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
especially in somewhere like Vancouver where we have so much that we can go do, right? That
got it.
it's not all about, hey, I just need a house. Well, it's not.
Exactly, exactly.
You want to have
And
a great
I mean,
life.
our pricing isn't exactly cheap. So, it's amazing what you can do with 1,000 square feet in the city. A lot of people that I
Mhm.
work with are downsizers, and they always say, oh, I need 1,500 square feet minimum because they're used to living in a 3,000 square foot home. But, when you're downtown and you're utilizing the seawall and the restaurants and, everything that downtown has to offer, you don't need to go and spend or have that 1,500 square feet. So, I think it's about getting out there and getting into various spaces so that you can, see what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. My wife and I's first loft in Vancouver many years ago was 690 square feet,
Yeah,
and we loved it. And
totally.
we used every single inch of it.
Oh,
And now
yeah.
we have many, many more square feet than that. And we only probably still only use 1,000 square feet, and we have kids, right, of the
Exactly.
actual house. Yeah,
Yes, it's what you make of it, right?
exactly.
What space is mostly the kitchen. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
I hear
I
what you're
know.
saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Chantal, I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate
Thanks
your
for having
wisdom and
me.
your expertise.
Yeah.
Where would be the best place that anyone looking to buy, sell, or just talk about real estate to find you and get in touch?
Pick up the phone. You can call me anytime. My number is 604-417-4457. Or you can visit my website. It's just chantalvignola.com, and all my contact information is there, along with all my listings and previous sales. So I'd love to hear from you. So give me a call anytime.
Perfect. Thanks again. You take care and stay safe, and we'll be in touch.
And to you. Thanks, Matt.